Alright guys, this is Steve Huff from Huff Paranormal. I'm here today because I want to do a vlog video on looking out for the signs of a demonic attachment or possession. It's funny because back in the early days, 7 years ago when I started this work, I said, oh, demons can't possess you, that's a thing of movies, that's in films. But you know, as people, as humans, even at my age of 48, we learn every day. We continue to evolve and we continue to grow. And there have been many times early in my paranormal career that I was wrong, and I've admitted those times. One of those is about demons. When I first started, I was saying there's no demons, they can't get me, they can't hurt you, that's nonsense, right? I took a lot of flack for that, and rightly so. But as time went on, I had my own experience 3 or 4 times now that scared the hell out of me, literally. And what I have seen physically, what I have seen mentally, what I have heard physically, and recorded and captured as evidence proves that yes, indeed, there is evil out there in the spiritual realms without question. They have told me they were going to kill me, clear as a bell. They've told me several times they're inside of me, clear as a bell. Not today they don't, but they used to. They have told me they were possessing me and possession was getting near. They were warning me.
Macy, protecting the sky. Sorry.
All right, come on through. I'm Steve. Who's this? What are you causing this pain? Oof, now I'm getting chills.
This is the voice of a man condemned.
Because there are also kind, loving spirits. I know there's a lot of, conspiracies and theories from people in this field. A lot of people say it's all demons, end of story, period. Some people say there are demons, but there's also good. Some people say there are no demons, and it's all just earthbound spirits who are stuck or confused. So which is it? What is the reality? Well, sadly, no one really knows or can scientifically prove who or what those of us who do this work speak to. We just don't know. And while there's people out there who claim to be experts, self-proclaimed experts, self-proclaimed demonologists, self-proclaimed this and that, there are, and I'll repeat this, there are no experts in the field of I.T.C or spirit communication. It's not possible, simply due to the fact that there's no way we can prove who or what we're talking to. All we can do is record the evidence, decode the messages or write down the messages, and try to figure out to the best of our ability who or what these entities are that come through. What we do know for a fact is something intelligent speaks back to us through devices like ghost boxes, Frank's boxes, PSB-7 radio scanners, some of the good applications out there for I.T.C, GeoBox, and the Wonderbox. We are getting intelligent, direct answers to questions. At least I know I am, and they're clear as a bell at times. And there's been close times with conversations when I had my gold box, and so many people are asking me to recreate the gold box. What's your name?
My name is Jack.
Thank you, I'm Steve. Are there any spirits here? What's your name? Can you tell me? Name. You focusing? Can I just talk to you? Why would you scream like that? Do you know you helped me create this box? You most certainly did. Hey, how you doing? Thank you. Are you guys... It is time for what? The gold? This is actually real gold right here. Offer gold. How would I be able to see you?
Get control.
Can you give us a name? And I have to tell you, that gold box really scared me to death. That was the most frightening time of my entire life, even surpassing my near-death experiences in life. I've never experienced anything like those couple weeks near the end of that gold box. So making another one, I swore I would never do. But then again, you have so many people, there's so many people asking me to do it because it was really breaking new ground. But truth be told, it scares me, and I'm not ashamed to say that. So we do know that we're talking with some form of intelligence, some form of something we cannot see, but some of us can feel physically. I physically feel them, and I can sense now between evil and love. It's a totally different feeling, and here in private in my home, I validated both. Now, if we go by what they say, if you want to believe what they tell me and tell us who do this work, what I've captured is, I've captured them saying they're demons and they're going to kill me. I would mention God, and a lot of people say, mention God and they'll run for the hills. That doesn't happen. If you mention God, they will sometimes say God's not real, or they will swear at me. But when there's a demon there, they're not shy about it. They're not trying to trick me. They're not trying to say, I'm God, I'm Jesus, or I'm this, angelic being of light, when they're really a demon. When a demon comes through for me, or who they say they're demons. Again, I can't scientifically prove it, but when I get a voice and they say they're a demon or even the devil, they're not trying to fool me. They're telling me flat out they're going to hurt me or harm me or possess me or use me to do whatever. And then when there's those with love, you hear that in their voice. They tell me they love me. They tell me they miss me. They ask for help sometimes. And the higher vibrational beings will just cover me in this warmth, love, and you can just feel it and know everything's going to be okay. So what I've discovered is there's love and light, and there's dark and evil, just as we see in our world on earth. It's no different from what I've been seeing. There's a hierarchy in the evil realms, and they even say they're in hell sometimes. Some have said twice they're in heaven, but I've captured 10, 12 voices. When I say, where are you? They'll say, we are in hell. And I have direct answers all throughout these videos on this channel. There's 500 and something videos, all documented. It's all documented. This is as real as it gets. It's serious. It's not a game. These devices are not toys. They're not meant to be turned on and be mocked or made fun of. The spirit realm is real. The spirits are sensitive. And I feel the reason I've been able to lock in so well is due to me being an empath. I care for everything, but it's part of who I am. And the spirits realize this as well, even the evil ones, which is why they can worm their way in. But today I want to talk about the signs. If you do this work, be careful. But I'm going to give you the signs of a demonic attachment, or so as they told me that I had a demonic attachment and possessed. And during my attack, what I saw, what I felt. First of all, if you have very evil or demonic spirits latched onto you, your communication will start to improve. You're going to get instant direct answers coming through your box. And you're going to notice that the communication has upped itself, right? Now, some people are saying, well, why is that demonic? How do you know it's not this connection you speak of? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know for sure, but I just know that when they told me they were attached to me or possessing me or in me, that my communication was incredible. When I cleansed all that out, I still was getting incredible communication, but not at that extreme level. And I also felt something was missing. So if you start noticing a jump in your communication, start looking out for the next signs. The next sign is you start to become obsessed with communicating. If you spend more than once a day or more than 5 times a week or more wanting to do communication, you could have an attachment. If all you think about all day is getting home or getting somewhere to do a session, you probably could have an attachment. If you just want to record sessions and share them all the time, if you spend your days in paranormal groups creating spirit communication videos or audio files or sessions, you could possibly have an attachment. When they're attached, they make you want to only do communication. They want to be heard. It gives them energy, and according to what they've told me, the more I leave the box on and the more they talk to me, the more energy they gather. And what they do with that energy, I am not sure. But if you find yourself obsessed with the paranormal and doing sessions and communication, whether it's E.V.P, spirit box, app, radio, whatever, you could have an attachment. Try to separate yourself and cut it down, to every other day or every 3 days, and then see how you feel. Also, if you start to have upper respiratory issues like I'm having right now, you'll notice my voice, and I cough a lot these last couple weeks. Those are actually what I've noticed, the first signs of some sort of spirit attachment, not necessarily evil. But anytime I've had spirits around me in general, I notice my throat and my upper respiratory issues pop back up. I've been to the doctor many times. They can't find a reason for it. But I've noticed it over the last 4 or 5 years. It comes and goes. So be on the lookout for that. If there's a demonic entity attached to you, here's things I've noticed with me that may relay to someone else. Chest pain. Sometimes if I can push over here and there'll be a unique pain, I just touch it and it's pain, right? It's not down here or here, it's right in a spot. Sometimes it's right in the center. If I touch it, it's tender and it hurts. Sometimes I physically feel a heart pressure and an immense pressure in the chest. And sometimes I feel like I'm going to pass out from that pressure. I've been to the ER many times. Once they said I had a mini heart attack, though they couldn't explain why or how, because they say I'm healthy as a horse. I don't smoke. I don't do anything in my life that degrades my health. So chest pain, heart pain, making you feel like you might pass out, and little kind of pains that are tender to the touch. I noticed when I had my last attachments, I had all this going on. I had the upper respiratory, the chest pressure, the pain, the weird pains that if I touch, hear my voice. And I notice this all comes when I do more and more communication. Like right now, I've only been doing weekly sessions and I'm fine. I have no issues since I started that. And I guarantee you, if I went back to daily, I'd start having these health issues. And then you start looking, your color's off and something's not right. You don't feel right, which leads me to the next. If you have an attachment, and I don't know if this is demonic or just spirit in general, I haven't figured that out yet. You will have low energy. You'll just want to sleep. You won't care about anything else. For 2 days, I laid on my couch and watched TV and did nothing from an attachment. And it was at a time when I was getting crazy communication. I was getting voices threatening me and then also voices saying they loved me. I get voices warning me of some of the demonic entities. It's crazy. So lack of energy can also be a culprit if you're doing this work a lot and you notice some of these things happening. One extreme thing that I nipped right in the bud immediately. If you start hearing voices in real time, right? And I mean like hearing voices like someone's in the next room calling out your name, and you know someone's there, so you go in there and say, hey, you know. But imagine that happening throughout the day and no one's there. You would think, you know, that you're gone crazy or loony, you know, schizophrenic maybe. I've talked to many schizophrenic patients, people with schizophrenia, and they tell me the voices they hear sound a lot like what comes through my Wonder Box. What if we diagnose these people who are just hearing spirit? I've always thought that, and it's amazing when you combine the two and talk to people who have this problem, and they tell me, yeah, that sounds like this E.V.P. or what's that voice, I hear it the same way. There could be something there. But if you start hearing voices where, you know, say I'm right here right now and I hear a voice talking like they're right there, that usually means a spirit attachment is on you. And I would say that it would probably be a demonic spirit. Sometimes they'll say nasty things to you. And I'm going to tell you a story that I never told anyone when this happened to me. Probably, it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the gold box. I was laying in bed and I started hearing voices. Not voices in my head, but voices physically in the room. All right. And Debbie has heard these voices. My son has heard these voices. And when they're around me sometimes, only when they're around me at times. And it doesn't happen anymore because I stopped it. But I heard these voices, and instead of focusing on them and trying to hone in on it, I tried to block it because they were saying awful things. But they say vile things to you sometimes. And so I immediately blocked it out, you know, prayed, even though before that I was never a big prayer, you know, and I did the house cleansing, the house blessing, the cleansing of myself and family members and pets for 5 weeks, and all of that has went away. So if you start hearing voices, physical voices, be careful, you could have an attachment. Now the good news is, I feel I've had several attachments over the 7 years that I've been doing this. I'm here, I'm alive. My family is well, my pets are well. There's no issues, okay? But at the time that some of these things were happening, I felt it was hopeless. I was sure I was gonna die. I remember telling Debbie my goodbyes as she was racing me to the ER when I had the heart issue. And it was frightening, that feeling you get. And it wasn't so much the fear of death, it was the fear of leaving loved ones behind. And here I am, I live to tell the tale. Several $1,000s of hospital bills out of my pocket later, because my insurance is awful. Today, like I said, I'm trying to be much more careful. So when you do sessions, try not to be careless. I used to be careless many times. Really do your protection intro. Ask for protection of the white light. Pray before your session. If you're doing a session, don't just do mindless sessions. Do focused sessions. Have a meaning, have a purpose. Other things that are signs of demonic entities coming after you or attaching to you could be bad luck. You're losing money. You're spending a ton of money mindlessly. And then later you look back and say, why did I buy that? Why did I spend that? Relationships, fighting within relationships. Luckily, I've never had this problem because Debbie is an angel. She is angelic beyond belief. Though demonic spirit did get into her one time. And that is when I smashed the gold box and threw away everything I owned that had to do with paranormal. That is what scared me when it affected her. But I learned what caused these issues, what allowed this to happen, because we do have the power to kick those demons out ourselves. We do have the power within us to heal ourselves from that and assure that demons don't have an entryway. I'll talk in later videos about these things that I do now to protect myself. But I just wanted to do a little informative video about how to find signs or see some of the signs from my experience. I'm not saying I'm correct and right because I'm not an expert. No one's an expert in I.T.C. If they tell you they are, run for the hills. It doesn't exist. I'm telling you from real life experience that I've had in 7 years of spirit communication, delving deep into it, creating devices to give spirits more power and energy to speak without worrying about the dark side or the light side. I just went in head first. So these are my findings. These are my experiences. They're 100% honest from the heart. You guys can tell that by hearing my voice, looking at my face, and watching 6-7 years of videos that I've put out where I'm always honest and always authentic with what I do. I've said it before, I don't make money doing this work. This work has been a burden on me financially. People think you make all this money on YouTube. You don't. Us in the paranormal, while I have 200 and some thousand subscribers, that's nothing in the grand scheme of things. So no, I don't make money, but people have recommended I start a Patreon. People have recommended I sell t-shirts, which I do now, but it's not even I'm not trying to push shirts on people, but if you want one, you can get one. I haven't done the Patreon yet. I'm still mulling it over because I would have to give something back to you, anyone who, supported me on Patreon. There'd have to be something there to give back that would be worth it for you. So I'm trying to find ways, so I can keep going with this research and keep, finding answers and keep discovering and learning. Because as I said at the beginning of this, I've learned and I've grown so much as a person, spiritually, mentally, with my heart has grown so much. So this work has rewarded me in many ways. And while it's been scary at times, I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't go back in time and not do it because it has made me such a better person. So thanks for watching this long drawn out video. This is Steve Huff, Huff Paranormal. I'll have a Halloween session up tomorrow. Thank you all.